thank you very much for joining us tonight. We have a very interesting topic and, of course, speaker with it. We met Dr. Oscar about 2 weeks ago in another AHIN webinar on enterprise architecture, and we're happy to that he accepted our invitation to address our network on the work that he is doing right now in Indonesia. Our speaker, Daniel Oscar Bocoro, is earned his bachelor's degree in computer science in Gadjah Mada University and took a professional program of technology innovation at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Cambridge, the US. He has a Master of Science in Technology Management from Columbia University in New York, summa cum laude, with research interests in master data management, artificial intelligence, and ICT for development. Exactly the areas where AHIN members are very interested, Pa Oscar. Currently, he works as data advisor for the Ministry of Health and a data specialist for the Asian Development Bank. His work experiences range from a researcher, ambassador of Google in Southeast Asian region, former AI head of Open Government Indonesia, digital transformation United Nations, big data senior specialist consultant for UNDP, and manager of One Data Republic of Indonesia. So without further ado, I'll pass the floor now in control to Pa Oscar. Thank you, Pa Oscar.
Sure. Thank you so much, Elo, for the introduction and also for introducing my biography. And yeah, thank you so much for the invitation. And hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Oscar. Yeah, I'm from Indonesia. And Elo already mentioned about my experience and also my current role. So my current role in the government of Indonesia as an advisor for the Digital Transformation Office. So very interesting for the discussion today about the digital transformation and also about the efficiency of the operational process on the health services. So I will share my experience and also share some knowledge about the topic. Hopefully, this topic will be useful for the audience to implement the program or many other topic for the digital health transformation. Thank you so much again for the invitation. So today I will share my my experience, also some of the strategic plan from the government in Indonesia relating to healthcare digital transformation and also the operational efficiency on the health program in Indonesia. So I'm Oscar from the government in Indonesia, and I'm from the Office of the Digital Transformation. This office is new, so maybe some of the participants today not very familiar with the office because this office is very new. We just launched the office in the beginning of the 2021 in the March, and this office is launched by the new Minister of Health in Indonesia to accelerate the digital transformation in Indonesia. So yeah, I think Alvin already mentioned about my background. So my background is more to the technology and also the background in the computer science and also in the Columbia University. So I have some experience on the digital health, especially during the COVID-19. So I am assisting the ADB, UNDP, USA, and currently more focusing to assisting the government of Indonesia to solve the issue on the digital sector, especially during the COVID-19. I will explain some example of the project that we currently roll out for the COVID-19, and also some achievement. This is some achievements that I have from my research. So I have several research in the Columbia. Currently, I still have some research also in the Columbia. So specifically in my current research in Columbia right now, I still have research grant from the Columbia related to AI. So I also focusing for the AI method for the character analysis and some issue on the technology. Especially also I have some research also for the vaccine management in New York in 2019. So before the COVID-19. So I also developed the project and also the research about about the vaccine management before the COVID-19 in New York. So there are some several research that I have and also some achievement that I got from my research. Anyway, and also in media, maybe there's some spotlight on media on the CNN and also some local newspaper and also some international TV relating to my research. Yeah, and also some research project. So I also have several research project in some country, in Japan, and also a lot of research in US, in New York, and also in the Silicon Valley, and also some research also with the government on the Middle East, also in Qatar and also in Istanbul and my country. So yeah, my interest is more to the research for the technology for the ICT for development. So not only specifically for health, but also many issue. But currently, my research also focusing a lot on the health innovation. Anyway, I already explained about the office about the digital transformation office. So this office is new in Indonesia. Maybe this is also interesting office that maybe can be the inspiration for the other country also. So the government in Indonesia currently building the new office, the specific office for the digital transformation in health. So we have a very specific office on this. So this office is initiated by the new Minister of Health in Indonesia and focusing to accelerate the digital transformation in Indonesia. So regarding this topic that I want to share, the topic of the digital transformation, I will take the perspective from the government in Indonesia about how we transform the digital health in Indonesia by using some several programs and also some strategy to make the digital transformation giving the impact for the efficient process in the government, especially for health. So this office is built by the minister to achieve that mission, to have the digital transformation or especially for the four main topics. The first topic is about the integrated national health data. So this is the major issue in Indonesia because we have almost more than the 200 million people in Indonesia, and we have 17,000 islands, and we have 34 provinces. Province is more the state level, and also we have 500 cities. There's a lot people, a lot population in Indonesia. This is the main issue for us to make how we can consolidate the data, how we can integrate the data. So everyone we can monitor its services, health services for each person in Indonesia. That's why we want to make our mission integrate the national health data, especially based on the profile or based on the individual data. The second thing, when we're talking about data, we should also thinking about how we can get benefit of the data. How can we make the impact, or we can make the data is useful for everyone. So the second thing, we want to make the ecosystem about the more reliable, more data-driven decision making. Before, I think this issue is a biggest issue for many countries in the world right now. How to make the good decision making on the COVID-19, especially based on data. So this is the new culture, new behavior, new program that we want to launch. We want to push to accelerate about how to make the health data is not only standalone as a data, but we want to make the data is meaningful by the analyzing the data and then connecting the data with the policy. So the second thing is about making the data is meaningful by utilize the data analysis, data science to use the data. The third thing is about the mission is also important. It's about how we to make the user-friendly digital environment. This is important. So when we're talking about the first one, about the data, about the data of the integrated data, and the second thing is about the data science, about the data analytics. But certain things we want to focusing about the experience of the health officer, experience of the customer, to get the good experience. So we want to make the process more easier. We don't want that the health officer putting a lot of effort to have many apps on the health in their office. So we want to make sure they have a simplified app. They have the more integrated app, so they have a more efficient process on the health services in its health facility. So the third thing is about more to make the simplify simplify the system, so giving the good experience for the health officer and also for the customer. The third thing, and the last one is about the digital capacity. This is important thing. Usually we when we're talking about the digital health, we only focusing about the about the technology itself, but we forgot about the people that will use the technology. So the last one, where our mission is about to increasing, about the improving the quality of the people. So when we have the good technology, we should have also have the good people that can use the technology, can utilize the technology for better health services in Indonesia. So there are four main major aspects that we are focusing on the digital transformation that maybe can still relevant for other country purpose also, and also other country needs on this mission. And before moving on the more specific strategy on digital transformation, I want to talking about the current issue on the digital health ecosystem. When we are looking about the report on the 2020 about the digital health ecosystem, we see a lot topic that currently popular about the needs of the digital ecosystem. And I want to export this data. The important thing about the data is the first one about the regulation and approval. This is interesting about data that published by the Digital Health Survey. So when we're talking about the digital health, so this is a lot issue that we are need to discuss. Usually we focusing about the data architecture. We are focusing about the technology itself. We're focusing on the API, or we're focusing about many advanced technology about AI, about other topics. But still, the most major thing is about the regulation or about the business process. This is the issue that might be important to be for the understanding for the all participants. So we are also thinking about comprehensive analysis, comprehensive aspect about the digital transformation. So on health especially. So not only about the technology itself, but also thinking about the regulation, about the policy, but also thinking about the people. So the regulation is still the biggest issue on the digital health ecosystem. The first one. The second things talking about the data capture analytics, but still, and then the some issue is more talking about the expertise. The third one is interesting also about the expertise. So not talking about the technology itself, but also talking about the people. So the highlight is about the healthcare supply chain management expertise. This is interesting, especially during the COVID-19, because the supply chain for the vaccine especially need a lot expert on the supply chain management. That's why the expertise on the healthcare supply chain management is one of the issue. And then user interface experience and then interoperability. Yeah, because I think a lot issue discussion about interoperability, but we can see from the data, the interoperability is the number 5 of the issue. The biggest one is still the regulation, and also the above that is still the people and also some topic. This is interesting data about the minutes of the digital health process. Okay, moving to strategic digital transformation on the health sector. So this is from the experience from the government in Indonesia that we are currently roll out on the digital health transformation. So we are our strategy is to develop the digital health transformation is by creating the major program for the transformation, and then dividing to the some sub program, and then creating and then also connecting with the outcome. This is our strategy. So we develop this strategy based on the some research and also based on the some interview with the some expertise. So we building this program not only based on our theory or something our business paper, but we also having a lot of the series of the discussion to develop the strategy. So on our strategy on the digital health transformation, we have three major programs. The first one, we're focusing on the data itself. We want to make the integrated data based on the system that developed by the government and also developed by the partner. So the first thing, we're focusing on the data itself. So we want to make sure about the data quality, about the data integration, because this is the most one of the popular quotes in the IT communities about when we have the garbage in and then will be the garbage out, or we can call GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So we should make sure we don't want to have the garbage data in the input. So that's why we are focusing the first priority about the garbage in as about the data. So we want to make sure about the integrated data, the good quality of data, and also the good ecosystem of data. So we have three major program on the data itself. The first thing is about the national health data system, and the second thing is about the integration of the health data system. So more to the connection with the private sector also, and the third one, building the ecosystem of the analysis by using the data science. So this is the third major program on the data. So by having the three major program, we want to improve the quality of the health policies by using the data. So we are not talking about the technology. We don't want to have advanced technology. We don't want to have advanced framework. But the main goal is more to have good decision making based on the data. So this is the first one. And the second thing is about the apps itself. So yeah, when I talking before about the mission of the Digital Transformation Office, I'm talking about how we can make a simplified apps so we can have more efficient process on the health officer on the health facility. So this is the second things is about to simplify the services to make the services more efficient. That's why the topics about the efficiency of the process, because this is also the major program that we have. Want to make the process efficient by integrating all apps in the more integrated software. So we dividing the software, or we integrating the software into only 6 apps. So we choose based on the level of the health facility. So currently, we have more than 400 apps in the government for the health sector. There's a lot of apps in Indonesia, and then still overlapping. Still, it's overlap have overlap feature, overlap service, and also overlap data also. And currently, we are cleansing arranging the app and simplify the app, and then make the app to be based on the level of the health sector. For example, we want to make the one app only for the primary health facility. We want to make only one app for the laboratory, one app only for the hospital. So we simplify that app to only one app for each facility. So that's what our strategy. The second things, when we're talking about the simplify the app, we also improving the capacity of the people. So when they are having the new app that more simplified, and we also want to increase the capacity by giving them more capacity on the health informatics. So in the next year, we will launch the program to teach all of the health officer in all provinces in Indonesia about the topic of the health informatics specifically. So this is the topic that currently still not popular in Indonesia, but we want to push the topic of the health informatics, so the people in the health facility or also the health department in each province can understand about the topic of the health facility. And talking about the integration of your app, this is also important thing about to make sure about the help desk, where we should make sure about the help desk, because this is the topic that usually people forget. We create the very great app, but still there are some bug or some issue on the login, on the password, and many other things. We want to make sure we have a very good quality of the services, good quality of the experience. That's why we are also focusing help desk for the apps is also one of our priority. So you want to make the integrated help desk for the health app in Indonesia. And then the last one is about building the ecosystem. This is important to building the ecosystem because the government cannot running the health digital health itself. We still need a lot collaboration with many aspects from the academia, for the community, and also from other stakeholders. That's why the last topic or last program or priority is about improving about the communities, about the ecosystem. The ecosystem that we are focusing, the first one about the telemedicine technology. This is interesting thing. About the telemedicine technology, we don't want to make the telemedicine that developed by the government itself, but our mission to improving the ecosystem, to improving the quality of the startup. So we don't want as the player on the telemedicine. We don't want as the biggest player on the telemedicine. Our mission is about the improving the ecosystem, so the startup on the telemedicine have good experience, good environment for their business. So we are creating a lot program to make sure the startup have a good experience and a good environment for improving their business. So for example, we currently discussing about the regulatory sandbox for telemedicine. This sandbox is important because by using the sandbox, we hope the startup can have more easy to improving their innovation and other aspects. So this is the interesting topic, the telemedicine. So the government not as a supplier, but government as a support, as an accelerator for the ecosystem for the telemedicine. The last one is more broad to the lot issue or lot topic or the innovation. So when we're talking about the innovation on the health sector, it's not only talking about the health, about the medicine, but we have a lot interesting topic about the AI, about the blockchain, about the biotechnology, about other aspects, about the robotic, IoT, a lot of things about the health sector. That's why we also want to improve the ecosystem innovation. So we have a lot technology. So not only based on the mobile apps, but we have a lot innovation. So we also accelerating the last one, accelerating about the ecosystem, but more wide to many new innovation. So that is innovation not only giving impact for the customer, but also in line with the government priority on the health sector. So this is the overview of the health transformation that we are running on. So the three main aspect and then some sub program, and then of course, each of the sub-program have their own goal. For example, the first one, the goal is about improving the use of the data for the good decision making on the government. The second one is about to simplify more efficient health process in the health facility. So the people officer in the health officer have more efficient process. They don't need to spend a long time for inputting the data on the many systems. That's a very difficult, yeah. They can use their time for their family. So that's why the second one is more our goal is want to make the simplify the life of the health officer on the Simplify app. The third one, improving the ecosystem on the health sector by accelerating, by the supporting the ecosystem on the telemedicine, IoT, blockchain, and many technology. And this is our roadmap on the digital health transformation. And yeah, I already told about the office. This office still new. So in the 2001, we are focusing more to the building the architecture. So currently we are having a lot of discussion, a lot of workshop to formulating about the architecture from the policy, not only about for the first one architecture for the policy. For example, about the creating the policy to make the like we call it a one single or one integrated policy for the health sector. The second one about the architecture of the technology of the data. The third one about the not architecture, yeah, but the scheme or about the diagram of the human resources for managing this health information, health informatics. And the last one, of course, about the infrastructure. So this year we have a lot discussion on this aspect about the architecture, and then next year we're starting to develop all tools, all integrated platform. So this year we're focusing on the architecture, and then the next year we're developing the all technology, and then the 2023 we planning to have to start crawl out in the Sam province, and then 2024 we aim to have all initiative roll out to all Indonesia. Yeah, so from this roadmap, I want to tell about the process. The process is not simple. That's why we are putting the roadmap in the 4 years roadmap, because we are thinking to make the digital transformation is not easy. We have still we need to have a good planning. We need to have a good development on the software, and also we need to have a good roll out on the product. So we put in this schema. For example, the interesting aspect about the dividing the rollout on the 2023 and the 2024. Why we are dividing the 2 years for the rollout the program? Because I read present about Indonesia, because Indonesia is very big. We have 70,000 island, and then we have 500 cities. And then this is a big challenge to roll out the new culture, new behavior of the digital health transformation. That's why we have dividing the 2 years to make sure we deliver the product to the all cities with a good quality and also good experience. So this is our roadmap for digital health transformation. This is maybe also interesting inspiration to be used for the other countries. And this is about talking about the efficiency process on our strategy or our plan on the digital health transformation in Indonesia. So we use the 360 view to make the efficient process on the digital health transformation. So I will explain one by one. The first thing about the data. So about the digital transformation, about the efficient process, about to make the centralized data. So we don't want so many data pool or data so many data integration on the each ministry, each city, or it's a province level or many places for the data integration, but we want to centralize the data integration only into the Ministry of Health. So we want to make sure all data is integrated on the Ministry of Health. The first thing. So when we have only one centralized data, this is make more efficient, because the system doesn't need to integrate to many platforms, because the one system only need to integrate to our system, and then other system can use the data from our system, our data pool. So usually currently like the for example hospital currently, they some institution request for data integration, some institution request for data integration, and then a lot data integration for hospital, and hospital confused. But we want to make the centralized data, so the hospital only can integrate into one data in our ministry office, and also from the ministry office can share the data to other platforms. So only one data for the integration. The second thing is about the infrastructure. So in our app or our software in Ministry of Health, currently in the future, we only have one infrastructure that managed by the Ministry of Health. So all apps using the one source of the infrastructure. So this is make the process more easier and also more efficient and also more secure, because all apps should use the infrastructure that we provide. So the apps or the unit cannot use the infrastructure outside from Ministry of Health. So all apps only use one infrastructure that we provide. That's the strategy that we have. This is make it easier for us to monitor about the infrastructure, to make sure about the security of the system and also other aspects also. The capital resource, we also open about the budget. So our program on the digital transformation, not only from the government budget, but also collaboration with some stakeholder from the NGO, donor, CSO, and also private sector collaboration. So our digital transformation is not limited only for the government funding itself, but also open for the partner also. And then moving to both about the human resource. This is also important thing about the efficiency of the human resource on the digital health transformation. So our strategy is to make only one talent pool. So all software development in the Ministry of Health is developed by the Digital Transformation Office. So usually when we before in the whole process, we have many vendor, many software developer in the each unit, and we cannot monitor about their progress or their code especially. This is important to monitor about their code because the code is important to have the integrated code so we can integrate the app, also the quality. And currently we are moving. So all development of the software are managed by the Digital Transformation Office. So no any development officer or no any programmer on the unit, but all apps is developed by the Digital Transformation Office. And also the governance, this is also important. So the governance also integrated into one. We are progressing to integrate the regulation to one single regulation for the health sector, for the digital health sector. Sorry. So this is also make easier make simplify the process because we don't want to have a lot of regulation on the digital health sector. So we integrate all regulation to one regulation, and also the benefit of the connection of the one regulations about to make sure about the connection of its business process that we are running on. And but still, we are also open for the health service regulation. For example, our regulations only managing regulating on the digital health aspect, but for specific for the health aspect, it's still managed by the unit on the Ministry of Health. The last one is about that I present about the project development. So the all project development is managed by the DTO office, Digital Transformation Office. All of the project on the digital is only managed by the one office. So each unit cannot develop any project anymore, but they can ask our office to develop some products. So when we put the development process on the one single entity, that's easier for us because we manage the people, we monitor the code, and also we have the guidance for the development. So we can make sure the quality of the software is having the standard of the quality of the software. But still, the maintenance of the software, for example, modifying the form, modifying the information, still managed by the unit or directorate. This is our strategy to make the efficiency process on the digital transformation in the government of Indonesia. And this is some example that I want to present about our specific product or specific regulation that we are currently working on. The first one about the One Data, Ministry for Health. So we call it the One Data. So this One Data strategy is about how to we can make the One Data ecosystem for the integration of the data on the its facility, health facility, its department, and also many other stakeholders. So when we see currently or some past year ago, the data is still scattered in each unit, and then we have duplication because for example, it is the unit A collecting the data about the cancer, and then the unit B having the different app collecting about the cancer, also about the cancer patient. So they have to duplicating data on that. So and also the difficult things about the data format. Indonesia is very big, and then we have a lot different digital literacy. So some people using the app by using the Excel format, but some people using the JPEG format. For example, the uploading the data, but only taking the picture. And also some people are using the data only like the writing the paper. We still have the data still write on the paper. So a lot different format of the data. So by using the One Data program in the digital health sector, we want to make sure the data integrated. So each unit can monitor, can use the data, can share the data. So this is to avoid the duplication of the data. And this One Data program also to make sure about the data standard data, metadata, about the interoperability of the data. So of data having the principle of data. So our one data program is aimed to make that one about the integration of data and about the data quality. So at the end, about the one data is about the accurate, updated, integrated, and equitable interoperable data, and also better for the decision making. So this is one of the program that currently we are running on. So this is about that big data ecosystem. So our big data ecosystem is what we call it a lot feature. Yeah, we have the metadata management, we have data warehouse, we have data analytics, API management, data quality management, and also such analytic security management, and a lot of tools that we are integrated into our big data ecosystem. This is some examples that we are currently running on. For the vaccine management, we have integrated dashboard that analyzing and then also publishing the data on the vaccine logistic, vaccine status Indonesia. So this the data is currently is still running on, and then as a base or as the source for the decision making in Indonesia. So we are publishing the data, and then about the progress, about the about the recipient of the vaccine from the health officer or from the elderly or from the public, so we can monitor about the progress on the vaccine. So this is important to make sure the vaccine is delivered in the correct timeline. This is also the data for the big data for the logistic. We also have big data to manage the logistic logistic of vaccine. This is actually the very challenging issue in Indonesia, but the logistic, because we have a lot cities, 500 cities in Indonesia, and we need to make sure each of the cities have the allocation for the vaccine. This is also a very challenging issue, but we are using big data to make sure that's happened about the good managerial and also good logistic system for the vaccine. And also the assessment, this is important. So the assessment on the COVID, we are the government is publishing the level of we call it the PPKM, or we call it the lockdown. So we have several level on the lockdown in Indonesia. We are 4 level for the lockdown, for the level 1, 2, 3, 4, and we deciding the level based on the data analysis. So we have integrated data from the many sources, and then we analyzing the data, and then we decide which level of the lockdown for each city, not province, but each city. We decide the level. Or for example, the cities should have the 4 level, the cities have 3 level. So when the cities have the 4 level, that's meaning that the city have more restriction for the lockdown. For example, for the shopping mall closed, restaurant closed, the 4 level. The third level, the shopping mall open, restaurant open, using the data. And the interesting aspect, we publish the data open. We open the data. We open the analysis. We open the method on our platform. So all people, the public, can understand where we decide about the level of the lockdown. So this is an important thing about open data. So we open all the data so the people can understand. Oh, that's why my cities is getting on the level 4 because the number of the case is increasing, something like that. So we open the data so people can understand about that. The interesting aspect, we also using the data for the bed allocation and also oxygen allocation on the hospital. This is important thing about the digital transformation. So we publishing the data about the bed allocation on each hospital. So this is very important feature for the people. So when people are looking for the hospital, they can search which hospital empty, which hospitals they have available service for the COVID-19. So they not spending their time to looking on the hospitals, moving to one hospital to other hospital to finding the good allocation of the available hospital, but they only need to look under our platform that's open, that people can see about the allocation of the hospital. Then interesting aspect also about the hospital, we are also combining with the people validation. So when we're talking about data, usually we confidence about the integration, about the interoperability of the system. But usually, but our experience explain that sometimes the integration is not running very well. So they can have the bad data, the wrong information about the data. So we combining the information from the integration system and so putting some people to monitoring the data. So when the data is like having an anomaly, so they can correct the data, something like that. So this is important thing. So we are not only using the system, but also combining with the people validation the data. And also we are also using some apps for the tracing for the digital passport that currently running on. So all shopping mall passenger on the airplane or some public facility, they show the health passport on the vaccine, and also this when you show the passport, they can enter the shopping mall and actually other public facility. I think this project also implemented in the some country also. I think that's all from my experience and also some strategy that we are running on. Hopefully this information is useful for the participant on this webinar today. Thank you so much. I offer to
thank you, Oscar.
Okay.
Wow, we have a lot of questions. I will go back to 9:23 because that's when the first question came in. We have 15 minutes. Okay, so maybe very quick responses, pa Oscar. At what point? This is my question. At what point during your data collection process from the facility, the Puskesmas going up to the ministry, at what point do you separate the personal identifier from their health data? And because we know the identifiers are needed for the care providers when they need to take care of their patients, but it's not really needed at the higher level. So at what point do you de-identify and anonymize your data? Over.
Sure. Yeah, of course we use the national identity for the identifier for the data. So we use the national identifier from the data for the starting from the health facility and then also the other level also. But still, the health identifier for the national identity is still a biggest challenge in our country because we have 200 million people, and I think it is similar issue in the Philippines also and other countries also for the emerging countries. So not all people recorded their data on the national identity. So not people updating the data. This is important thing about the updating data. So we still see, for example, I already living on Jakarta, but my data is still in the other city in Yogyakarta. This is difficult for the decision making on the health sector. But in the future, we want to make sure about we want to like not changing the identity, but like more what we call like more combining with the specific format for the health identifier. So we want to make specific health identifier, but not changing the health, not changing the national identity. That's also one goal, but still learning from other country experience also. This is will be good strategy, or we should only use the national data. But yeah, that's also one of our concern on that. Yeah.
Thank you, Pa. From Tofik Sitompul, how is the plan and implementation of health service standards like medical and public health into the DTO in each level of the health administration level? Over.
Sure. Thank you, Pa Tofik. Yeah, it's really in my project also for the tracing. Yeah. This is also interesting thing about to make sure about the quality of the apps on the services. So yeah, the first thing, the government doesn't have any standard on the digital services. This is important thing. So yeah, the government of Indonesia have the regulation that standardize the e-government, the electronic government, but not specifically about the quality of the apps. So we currently having the guideline, also the standard to make sure about the apps or about the digital project having the good standard. So like we putting some standard on the security, we put the ISO for the ISO number, ISO number standard for the security. So each of the application having the standard of the security system, and then also the standard for the interoperability or standard for the data, and many standard also. So we are dividing not only on the one single standard, but we are assessing each component of the system into one standard that we use. Yeah, maybe that's my answer.
From Dr. Jayatri from Sri Lanka, what was the approach to introduce big data analytics during the digital health transformation? What are the technologies used? Over.
Okay, this is the important thing about the big data. So the approach of the government is I want to tell from experience. So the big data for the government usually when the government is more interesting about the dashboard, usually the client, yeah, we can see about the dashboard. So usually I start explaining about the big data is more about the benefit. It's not only about the method, but about the data. So usually people are explaining, oh, we use the regression method for analyzing this one, or we're using the data. Blah, blah, blah. But I'm more focusing about the benefit. So usually I put the benefit itself. For example, okay, by using the big data, you can have more accurate prediction for the bed availability, for example. So this is the example. I showing we can be showing the data sample on the diagram or say showing on the mockup, and then the government, if the government agree, and then we can planning on the method and then more specific aspect. So that approach that I use the approach to explain about the big data. So benefit in the beginning, and then the method and also data is following the process.
Thank you. From Rosemary from the Philippines, what is your team's criteria in choosing which apps to keep, especially if there are overlapping applications? Over.
This is a really aspect about the team. So currently, we're developing the team. Right now, we only have 30% on the team, but this year we aim 100% only for digital transformation on the health sector, and then next year we aim to have 200% in the government that's specifically working on the health sector, on the digital transformation of health sector. So we have 200 people. And how we get the people? So we get the people from the startup. So our budget is competitive. I want to tell you about the budget. So our budget is competitive. So we're finding the talent from the startup. For example, we have the startup Gojek, if you know. Gojek also popular in Thailand. I think at the GoViet, something like that. The Gojek, the ride sharing services in Indonesia, the one biggest unicorn in Indonesia. So we also are attracting the talent from the startup to join the digital transformation office. The main reason also about putting the culture on the project development of the startup in the government. This is important because the government usually working on the more like the priority on the government, but currently we are attracting more people, young people, to giving the perspective of the product experience on the people. So that will be make more useful technology for the health sector.
That's an interesting approach. You are actually calling in private sector to help government, and you have a target 200
for next year, and then this year 100.
Wow. Okay, so you have a plan to really build up human capacity, and you realize that they already exist.
Yeah,
and they are in the startups. They're
yeah
outside there already innovating.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is my question. What is your advice to ministries of health regarding the challenge of collecting disparate, non-standardized data from the facilities? You know, there's a lot of effort and energy spent getting all of these non-standardized data and then transforming them until you put them into the data warehouse. And that takes a lot of effort. So should they still enforce standards later on the facilities, or they just let them use whatever they have, and then you just put all your efforts into the standardization going up to the ministry? Over.
Okay. I choose the second option. So we want to make the effort in our system because changing the digital literacy is more difficult, yeah, compared to the changing the data on the system. Yeah. When we are, for example, when we have understanding about the one standard on the data for health, but to socialize, to present, to publish the standard to all people, health office in Indonesia is also one biggest challenge. And then they're not easy to understand. They need 1 year, 2 years to understand about the standard. After understand, they need 3 years to implement the standard. This will be a long process. So the main aspect is about putting the system that will transforming the data. So we put the transformation process. So okay then. So yeah, but still yeah, the data should be published on the digital format, because when we did data only the paper-based format, we can do anything. Yeah. So okay, you can put the data on this format, or maybe you can have different standards, but we already have one deadline on, and then you can publish that, and then when your data is wrong, we have the machine that can correct the data, something like that. When the accuracy, like okay, that's 80% that we can tolerate, but when the 50%, and then we return the data and then decertify. So we want to make sure the effort more to the system, because this is the only hope for the digital health transformation in Indonesia. The system giving the solution on the data standard. Yeah.
Thank you, Pa. We still have a few questions, but limited time. So if you can shorten your response, we can answer all of the questions. From Rosemary, Philippines. For your help desk team, are they more on the IT back-end support or basic troubleshooting? Are they integrated with your telemedicine team? Do they provide teleconsultations too? Thank you.
Okay, this is interesting aspect about the help desk here. So currently, in our current situation here, we have help desk in the its initiative. So we have the help desk for the telemedicine. We have a help desk for the tracing program with the Pak Taufik that already have giving the question. We have the help desk for the lab integration. So we have the one one team on the its one help desk for the its initiative. Anyway, but in the future, we want to integrate all help desks into one single help desk. So this help desk giving the service for the all health product in the Ministry of Health. And also currently, we also just launched the initiative about using the chatbot for the help desk. So this is also to reducing the effort for the answering the question. So we put also the chatbot to answering about the issue. For example, some laboratory can input the data, can submit the data about the COVID-19. So okay, we put the chatbot, so the laboratory staff can ask to the chatbot about the issue, and then the chatbot can giving the solution based our FAQ. Yeah.
From Rosemary again, Philippines. Also healthcare data center infrastructure and information system design. Can you provide more details? And do you also consult with other agencies requiring health data? Over.
Yeah, this is an interesting aspect about the health infrastructure. So the government in Indonesia currently having the program about the central the national central data. So the government in Indonesia only have one infrastructure for the national level. So we utilize the infrastructure that provided by the Ministry of Communication that managing the data center. So we use the data center for our services. So that's the strategy that we use.
Thank you. From Pak Taufik, are the best practices of implementation in the university research, do they have a role in the implementation strategy, universities?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting topic about the university. Yeah. So I have a lot experience from the University of Indonesia or in the States or in the some country. One of the good experience is about connecting the research with the industry. That's the major aspect, I think, because usually the research itself is more specifically about the method, about the method, about the formula, but usually people in the research forget about the use of the people or about the experience or the benefit of the people, of the customer. So when we connecting about the research with the customer, with on the industry, we can have the connection that okay, we having the research that giving the impact for the people. So that's important thing about the research universities, about the working closely. So I think all research on the universities should one partner on the industry, because that will be very important to implement the research.
Good, thank you. from Dr. Jeffrey Domino, one of the challenges in health digital transformation is the acceptability and adaptability of the users to these different technologies. Should this be part of the priority strategy to help the gathering of data? How do we manage these acceptability challenges?
Totally agree with that issue. So when working on the digital transformation for health, it's like we are building the cities on the very big forest because the tree already growth and then we have very big forest and then we want to build a more managed area. So the adaptability is about like that. So we should like quit this is the key that I usually use. The digital transformation is not about technology, yeah, but also about the business process, and also about the people. So the three aspect. So when we can touch that three aspect, uh, I believe we can achieve the digital transformation, our goal on the digital transformation. So this is the suggestion or the tips for the digital transformation. So not only looking at the technology, because usually digital transformation is only focusing on the technology itself. So we are discussing about technology, a lot of things, but we forgetting about the business process, about the regulation. We forgetting about the people that cannot use the technology. Yeah. So yeah, that's the three aspect that should be thinking on the digital transformation.
Okay, good. This is the last question. We've reached the top of the hour. While I'm asking the question, please prepare to open your webcam for our final picture.
Sure.
Oscar, what is the role of open source in achieving implementation goals? Have you used products in the healthcare sector such as OpenHIE, FHIR, and DHIS2, etc.? Over.
Yes, yes. This is very important thing about the open source. So yeah, this is also the because when we use the open source, we are not building from the scratch. Yeah. So we are building based on the other experience or other development from the other stakeholder. So we're learning like from the Bill Gates. Bill Gates developing their OS operating system. Bill Gates not developing the hardware, right? So they not starting from scratch about hardware. Mark Zuckerberg also not building the OS, but they building the Facebook platform. So they building from the other platform also. So by using the open source, this cutting the process, so we can have we have the source from the other aspects stakeholder. So we can focusing on to improving the feature, improving the other aspects. So we have more efficient process on the development.
Yeah. Thank you. The timestamp on Mark Kanai's question is 9:59. So I will ask that question.
Okay.
How do you answer? What is your answer to the challenge of privacy? How do you handle questions about privacy of the data that is flowing to the DTO? Over.
Yeah, interesting things about the privacy. So yeah, privacy is very interesting things. I think not only for the government in Indonesia but also the government. Yeah. So yeah, we still using the regulation. We still regulation like from the GDPR or from the other data privacy also for our baseline. But also we are focusing to make sure the privacy is also quite sure about the system itself. So usually we have the good regulation, good data, good data regulation, good data privacy. But usually there's some bug or some error on the system that make the data like a data breach in the system. So that's the interesting aspect. Not only focusing about the regulation itself, but also make sure about the system, and also make sure about the human resource that managing the system having a good understanding of the data privacy. Usually also the Indonesia, yeah, we use the health data for the cover for the food. Is for example when we buying the food and then the cover of the food is using the paper that's showing the health record. For example, we still see like that on the Indonesia. That's the important thing also. So we need to make sure about that. Yeah. Not only about the regulation of data privacy, but also about the technology, having the good standard on the security, and the third one about the understanding of the people about the importance of the data privacy.
Okay, thank you, Pa Oscar. I invite everyone to now open their webcams for our photo opportunity. And while we're taking that picture through Charis, I'd like to thank Pa Anis for organizing and introducing Pa Oscar to us, the UGM team, and all the other participants in this call. So please give your best smiles. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pa Oscar. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Fazila, Awa Anis. Good night.